morning again, and welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild. And I am Debbie G. It's time for Cuppa Grata with a shot of expression and two squirts of reality. And my co-squirt today is the lovely Maureen Edwardson, who is here with a gorgeous healing modality we're going to talk about called IRT. And also, Maureen, I really want people to get at the essence of who that you are, because you are such a kind, loving, giving human being, and you're always showing up for others in the world. And that's what I appreciate most about you. Plus, we're going to be talking about a great meditation that's going to be happening on Friday morning, right on Unify and all of our other channels that you see us live on all of the time, which is way cool. So, Maureen, welcome.
Thank you. It's so wonderful to be here. And I have a song for everybody. Oh Lord, what a morning. Oh Lord, what a morning. Oh Lord, what a morning when the connection goes live. I had some tech difficulties on my end this morning, so thank you all for your patience, and hopefully you'll get this in the perfect timing for you.
Absolutely. Well, it's funny because difficulties are only as difficult as we let them be. I tell you, I just laugh at tech though, because I always say it's always something, and you just got to flow with it, because I don't know. Sometimes, Maureen, I think computers or technology has a mind of its own. I think AI might be more advanced than we actually realize. It just, there's something about it. So anyway, I would like people to get a chance to know who you are. So can you let everybody know a little bit more about you? I had your bio up, and now I don't.
It's no. It's all good. Because that's sort of a long bio. I need to shorten it up a little bit. Basically, I'm the originator of Inner Resonance Technologies, IRT for short. And it's been happening for 30 years, and it's still cutting edge. So it's pretty amazing, actually, because we've had a cognitive dissonance around effortless and instant in our conditioning and in our programming. So while people have had huge success with this, what do you call it? I call it a protocol, because it is aligning us with our quantum cells, our superconscious cells, where there is no time, and where the truth of who we are is already known, and it just needs to be aligned with and claimed. And I think that is, that is the greater issue, as I've been reflecting, before we've met this morning, is that the core issue, I think, on everything that we see within ourselves and in the world is the illusion of separation. And it comes down from the illusion of separation from Source itself. And we are Source itself. And as we remember and re-identify with that simplicity, then everything comes from that place. Everything becomes possible. That's where the miraculous lives within us. That's where people can heal broken bones in 10 minutes doing this protocol. We all have the program, but we consider it a miracle. But truly, we are the miracle. And even the body alone is a miracle machine. You talk about AI, but seriously, we are way beyond anything external, and the brain itself is beyond complex. No one really fully understands that. But the truth is, every cell in our body is a supercomputer. Every cell has more capacity than anything we've ever dreamed about. And I love Dr. William Brown of the Resonance Science Academy with Nassim Haramein's Unified Field Physics. And he talks about the body as being, having 100 trillion cells, and every neuron in our structure has 100,000 potential connections. And already that's pretty amazing when you think about it. However, every one of those 100,000 potential connections have 85 billion wormholes into other dimensional realities. So we are cooking. Like, what more could we ever want or ask for in terms of complexity and ability to process information? We are an instant responder to infinite consciousness. And Dr. Bruce Lipton, who endorses my book, Your Magical Evolutionary Code Unleashed, The Science of Inner Resonance, which you can go and download a copy of at maureenedwardson.com.
Which is above, and I will also post it right here. But that is above in the chat. So
okay, great.
Or above in the description, if anybody's wondering. And hello to everybody who's on right now, please. Hello, yep. Francis. Hello. Oh, sweetheart. Hello. It's so good to see you. And good morning to Elizabeth and anybody else that's watching. We're talking about IRT today. We're talking about say it again, because I always
inner resonance technologies.
Inner resonance technologies. And how that we have the ability to heal our body. And this comes at a really good time right now, because in my full embodiment of WG, how I show up, it's very simple, truthfully. So I had some test results come back, and my hormones are a little bit out of whack. Now, I will be 55 in January, so it's not abnormal. There are some things that created the environment for me to go and get this checked in the first place, because I noticed that my hair was thinning, and I noticed I was a little crabby there. Maureen, a little cranky. I mean, seriously, I'm like going, nah, dude, like for real. My poor husband, dear God, bless his heart, his soul. You guys send him extra love and blessings right now, because I have absolutely zero tolerance for myself, mostly. Just saying. To be in that position, to be in this space, I want to attack it. I want to attack this with the mindset that you're talking about.
What if you were to welcome it with the mindset?
I can't attack it. I can't kill it.
Well, you can, but everything we go up against, we create more of in a general sense of universal law. So, it's just our language. We're conditioned to fight against cancer, to fight against this, and we identify with our conditions. That's where, an update of my book, I'm probably not going to do that one. I'm going to do something different. But if I were to update my book, I would say, I would title it, You Are Not Your Crap Magnet. And the subtitle, A Case of Mistaken Identification, because, you are not your hormones, you are not your body, you're not your anger, you're not your crabbiness. That's not who you are. And so that's what I say. We misidentify ourselves by saying, I am angry, I am, difficult, I am whatever. Anything we say after the I am statement gets received, and the body acts it out. Because as Bruce Lipton says, we're all out of our mind, because our mind is in a field all around us, and that's the broadcast. That's the broadcast, and the body and the brain is the receiver of the signal, and acts it out, gives us a replay, so to speak, because everything's getting replayed all the time, saying, oh, there that goes again, I thought I dealt with that. Well, the truth is, it's the signal in the field that's still charged up and it's still unresolved at some level. And so that is also a wonderful flag of opportunity to say, hey, something needs rebalancing here, something needs shifting and clearing, whatever caused that. So whatever your condition is with your hormones, there's something emotionally and mentally that's been unresolved from whenever. And you don't have to go digging with IRT, because it's just in patterns of informational energy in your field. And so IRT allows you to create the conditions to going through a formula of questions that are all predesigned to yes, to give permission to your superconscious, your greater self that already knows who you are, to shift all of that other stuff and neutralize it. So then that automatically and instantly you get to be your full happy self for no reason.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So, but I am curious. Okay. Do we buy into the idea of menopause then, or is it real? Because that is what in essence, I don't have some of my body parts. And so what you were saying is that to get in alignment energetically,
Mhm.
Do we need to also help that out with our minerals that we take and,
Absolutely.
stuff like that?
Absolutely, because we're also on a physical journey. And yes, we are instant responders to consciousness, and we can
I
change our
believe that.
consciousness and change our reality in our physicality. We're an alchemical machine. Absolutely. And, address all of it, exercise, good nutrition, it's called self-care. And by the way, on that note, talking about menopause, I'd like to, announce a whole new program that's come out of Byron Bay, Australia, by my dear friend Naz DeBono.
Uh-huh.
And I think you'd probably love to have her on your show sometime. And the timing, though, with Australian timing is not always optimal for this time of day, but her new program is called Xali, and so it's xali.com.au.
Uh-huh.
And there's a free trial up there. And she's combined, she's a personal trainer extraordinaire. She's 50, and you would not believe it, looking at her. She's most incredible. And she's also been challenged with some physical genetic issues. And so she gives all these workouts for people at all different levels of ability.
Yeah.
And I love that it's like a designer program that you get to choose, and then also foods, nutrition, and then also wellness information, and educating people in different ways they can help themselves. So it's a brilliant program, with a high-end chef that's provided meals and formulas for all kinds of well-being,
Mm.
for particularly aimed at people, at women going through menopause, pre and post perimenopause. So check it out, Xali, xali.com.au, and you'll be really glad you did. And it's just starting up, so just take advantage of the free offer, and you'll love it. You'll love it.
That's beautiful. I'm really super excited about that.
Yeah.
But the thing, I totally 100% believe in your sessions and what we can do together because what you do in sessions is just you guide, but you ask some questions that we say yes to.
Mhm.
And we can go through some of those. And what I love about that is we're giving ourselves permission to heal. We're giving ourselves permission to get into alignment. And that I fully, completely, 150 trillion, zillion, billions percentages love that, because I know that this is true.
Mhm.
So let's talk a little bit about IRT and what that it is, so that those that are listening, if they're curious, they can get a session, but also if they're curious, they can understand it a little bit more too.
Yes, yes. And also, when they go to my website, maureenedwardson.com, go to events, and onto that tab, because I've got a couple of new programs coming up in starting September 11th. And one is Essential IRT, for information to go deeper, to actually understand the science and why and how this works so miraculously, and how we are and why we are such a miracle. And then I give people an experience each time. And then also, alternating with that's every second week, and alternating with that is my Be Michelangelo program that I think I've told you about before, Debbie. And that is, why is it called Be Michelangelo? Because as Michelangelo was asked, wow, how did you create that, David? He's so perfect. The detail is exquisite, just incredible. And he said, well, David was already in the block of marble. All I did was chip away what wasn't him. So that's just it. That's alignment, visioning in the truth of who we are, and then allowing anything that's not who we are to be dissolved. So basically, that's what IRT does. It's a deprogramming of everything that you are not, in order to really claim and align and activate the greater truth of your grandest self. And again, on that note of the grandest self, I have a dear friend, James A. Sinclair, who created the Grand Self movie. And I highly, highly recommend that, because it shows what we're
Grand Self movie?
The Grand Self Movie. And so the URL for that is grandselfmovie.com. And for 48-hour watch, it's $9.97 or something. And if you want to own it, it's $19.97, and you have that option within 2 days if you like it. I recommend buying the movie, downloading the movie at the full price of ownership, because you'll want to watch it over and over again. I've got a couple of lines in there, but there's people from all over the world with technologies, spiritual technologies and physical technologies, that show us how to align and to claim that greater self, the grand self, because it's already in there. So that's where I started, this morning, is the core cause of all evil, if you will, on the planet is the forgetfulness of who we truly are, and knowing that there is no separation. Literally, we're breathing in recycled atmosphere from the beginning of time. So physically, we're actually part of each other just by breathing, and so what's really extraordinary is that when we really get that peace, that verse in the Bible, for example, do unto others, or the golden rule, do unto others as you would, have them do unto you. But also, treat each person, the least of these, as you would choose to be treated, and on, with all those ideas, that Jesus taught, that
Yeah.
there is no separation. We're not separate. We're part of each other. That's what we're talking about in the consciousness movement, the oneness,
Yeah.
and the illusion of separation. And I heard years and years ago that the shift from duality into oneness is a perceptual shift. So once we perceive ourselves and others differently, so that's where I love the whole Popono prayer. You're getting lots of tools here this morning, and the
Right.
whole.
Well, I want to jump in real quick, because I want to make sure that we people catch a couple of things you said, whether you're watching now or on the replay, is that you're chipping away at the things that are no longer serving you, that are no longer real, they're not true for you.
They
And
never
I
were.
think that they never were, and never were, exactly. And I love that you were talking about that, because that illusion the illusion, I want to talk about the illusion.
Mhm.
The illusion for me was the belief in something that no longer is real for me. Like there was an illusion that I'm just this body, or I'm the illusion that this experience is the be all end all for life. I mean, I go into these illusions all the time. The illusion of separation is simply that this is the physical existence is it, or that you are you, I'm me, but we have no connection. You're over there and I'm over here. And as my granddaughter so eloquently put it when she was 4, we're all connected by an invisible string.
Mhm.
And it's recorded right here on Facebook.
Yes.
Seriously. And I don't know that there's any truer statement when you hear it from a child that we are all connected.
Mhm.
So, and I'm loving that. And I'm loving the recommendation that you gave the person with physical fitness, because that person is reminding, as you're sharing, it's like, yeah, it's all things, it's our whole body, it's taking care of it. And but what I really loved was how that you talk about how that we can do this. It's a mind shift, it's a shift, it's a change of perspective. But that's why I love what your technique does, is it takes you through changing perspective by simply saying yes and allowing yourself to just relax into it.
Yes.
It's a very, very gentle, relaxing, energetic modality that I really highly encourage, because you just feel, because you're letting all of that stuff that no longer serves you just lift right off.
Mhm.
So
That's so true.
I do want to jump into the Ho'oponopono prayer though right now with you, and because I think that's another important factor. Forgiveness is a super important thing, and I love the Ho'oponopono prayer. So please share your thoughts on that.
Well, my thoughts on that is there's a lot of misperception around the whole Popono prayer. And you think you're forgiving something or someone. And truly, what you're doing is forgiving your own higher self that saw that there was a problem in the first place. Because that's how Jesus did his healing as well. That, he didn't see a problem. He just saw the perfection of the individual and resonated that. And then that gets entrained up, because the principle of resonance in physics is defined by a range of harmonic frequencies that can coexist. And nothing brings us down, by the way. That's a big revelation to a lot of us. Oh, I don't want to be around that person. They bring me down. No, they trigger you of your own stuff. The sitting down here that doesn't want to exist anymore, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And so the law, law of physics is that the higher, more coherent energies, where am I, actually train up and train up. So it's your own stuff that brings you down. So that's really important to know, so that you can take responsibility and then do something about that in whatever way, you have available to you. But to, forgive yourself, and your higher self that knows who you truly are. I'm sorry, higher self, please forgive me, thank you. And I love you unconditionally. I love you. All the elements are there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I find in IRT that when I work with someone that has a lot to forgive, and a lot of, having been victimized, and very clearly victimized, to realize that as they allow the pain of those experiences to be dissolved and resolved within their own heart and within their own selves, forgiveness is automatic. Because what happens for people, even in the most dastardly conditions and really extreme conditions, what emerges automatically is compassion and understanding. It's mind blowing. So to me, the whole field of forgiveness, I know it's really important, and I think it's like putting the cart before the horse. It's like just trying to make something happen, and oh, I forgive you, but what's just like we make little kids, that Johnny hit Mary. Well, you say you're sorry. Well, Johnny's not really sorry, right? Because he was mad, and he was just acting that out. So it sets up that false sense of forgiveness, where you just mouth the words, but the feeling's not aligned. So it's the feeling that needs to be addressed, so that then everything can come into a new level of freedom.
I I know that's true too. And the reason I know it's true is forgiveness or holding on to something from a memory. It's a memory,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maureen. It's just that. We give so much credence to the whole, like you breaking the mental mentality of the victim mentality is like the biggest thing ever. And the only way that happens is when we take responsibility, like you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Taking accountability, but not beating ourselves up. It's a compassionate knowingness for me that, like, yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And
why it's a
forgiveness is
great.
forgiving to ourselves. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, yeah, exactly. It's the the prayer to me. I'm sorry. Please wait. No, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Did I get it straight?
People say it in different order. I don't think it matters.
Okay. So when we say that prayer, though, it is an 18,000-year-old prayer or something like that. It's a beautiful Hawaiian tradition. And the thing about it, when we get to now partake in this beauty of forgiveness. Forgiveness, it is right. It's about yourself. It isn't, it's about self-love. It's about truly stepping into loving yourself enough to know that you're just human. I'm only human after all. It was, that song?
Can I do a timeout?
Yeah.
That is the most misperceived statement ever, because you know what the word human is?
What?
Hu is another word for God in many spiritual traditions. So we are God man. It's already in our name. We are human, which is we are magnificent beyond measure. And so there's no such thing as being only human.
It's an
We are,
interesting thought.
yeah, exactly.
But we're still here in the physical.
Yes.
We're here in the physical and the human. Now, I find this very interesting. So, Hu in other nationalities and other languages means God, just as I am that I am is the name of God.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying that Hu being God puts us into, so we are God men, which puts us then into the Christ consciousness.
Yes.
We are crossed and being Christ-like in the Christ consciousness and having that heart. So I'm just breaking it down because I've never heard this before. So my brain, I'm doing it right here for you all to see. I have to, when I hear a new concept, I don't instantly say, oh yeah, that's it. My brain does this thing. So it absolutely, that makes sense. And there's a softer vibe, it seems, with looking at the human as being powerful or the human. Huh. That's
Again, it's like
super
a
cool.
yeah, it's like a misperception that that we've forgotten who we truly are as a spiritual being, as a child of God or child of Creator, child of the universe. We're breathing in spirit. We're breathing our portion. We're out in the sunshine, getting our ray of light, and being our individual ray of light, in the world is who we are. And so it's about waking up to remembering that's, what we're saying right at the beginning. The root cause is that illusion of separation. And we are part of and one with everything. We are a light part of the great light. We are a drop in the ocean. We are a drop in the waterfall. That's woohoo. Some people are, in the spray at the top. Some people are going towards the edge going, oh. Some people are nice and calm at the bottom in the still pool, but it's a wave, and we're all part of that. And we're in a wave of shift right now. And so we're all at different stages and different ways of being in that wave of consciousness. And so we're all part of each other in that way too. And just allowing everyone to be where they're at. And that's just the biggest thing, without the judgment or without any kind of superiority, because we're all, on the journey.
Oh no, I totally love that. I love that. We are all on this journey and everybody being right where they're at. I struggle with that too. I struggle with that with my husband all the time. I'm like, do your work. Well, Joe, if you were doing your work, for God's sake, would you just go do your work?
Then you
Please.
would love me unconditionally and I could be as crabby as I want to be.
Just go do your work. God, I swear.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? But what you're saying right now, is there is nothing more peaceful than merging back with you. Remembering who you are means getting back in your body into the now, to the present moment. I like to bring appreciation and gratitude into this. This show is all about a Cuppa Grata. And the reason that this is important is for myself right now, as I am looking at the different situations, I say to myself, I am grateful and appreciative of knowing the opposite end of what it is like to feel my energetic self. And the reason why, because there's other people who will cross my path that need empathy for the same thing. That's why I share about it as I go through it, because the only way for me to approach this is like I've approached everything, with deep appreciation for being on this planet. Now, I love the understanding of human, because, well, I mean, word is just word, but the intention behind the word is so important. And that's why I really appreciate that highlight there, because this is that's like a bright light that I see that I didn't see before. I think that allows us to step into a deeper level of appreciation for each other, quite frankly. And the illusion of separation is the illusions for me is when I have a situation come up and I need to decide, is it that or is it this? Is that still true or is this true now? What's true, what's not true? Illusion is a shift of perception of what is true and what isn't true. Now, what I dig though about IRT is you have a way of not really addressing any specific issues. It's more just an alignment. Now, I want to talk about that process a little bit too.
It can be both. As I say to people, which sounds like double talk, you can be specifically general or generally specific. And even if you're really specific and you have one particular issue that you really want to address and resolve, or shift in some way, everything else. It's a one-stop shopping because there is no time or space. So all of the memory is all here now, whether it's other lifetimes or other dimensional realities, whatever it is, it's all here now. The genetic memory, it's all here now. And so it's the same frequency, the same chemistry, and it can get shifted simultaneously. And so I love that about it. So yeah, so everything else can get piggybacked onto the particular issue. And yet at the same time, you don't need to specify anything, as you say, and everything will be handled as appropriate and safe for you at each moment and each time you do this. And I love the fact that at the end result chemistry, at the end of going through the protocol, people have an opportunity to program somewhere on their physical body a switch that the brain will recognize and as a reactivation spot to clear. It's like a super duper defrag antiviral program for your human supercomputer. Yeah. And so then once you've got the end result program.
You're like McAfee, huh?
Well, actually, I'll drink to that.
She's like McAfee. She's like we all need an antivirus for our computers, and why not an antivirus for our supercomputer, the biggest supercomputer that there is? Us.
Yeah, our communication device, our experiencer of consciousness.
I like to be defragged. I'm all about defragging. Anybody else out there like to be defragged? It really is a good thing. Hey, audience, I see you out there. Say hi. Where are you watching from, listening from? What, if anything, has came up for you? Do you have any questions for Maureen? Please put them into the chat. You can also find her link, maureenedwardson.com, right there in the chat as well. It's also in the description. So we have a good audience right now. And I think maybe I'll just give this over to you. And if you want to guide them through a sample meditation of what's going to be live on Unify on Friday. Are you good with that?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Really good with that. Yeah. 7:22 a.m. Pacific time on Friday morning. Yeah. Join the millions and get the updraft.
You and I are going to show up with bells on. 7:22. We can do it.
We can do it. Yeah. Yeah. And by default, we can watch it in replay. But there's a huge value in showing up collectively at the same moment with millions of people. I mean, that's super powerful. But again, there's no time. So it's all good.
It is all good. So wherever you're at, be gentle. Don't drive and that kind of stuff. Use common sense. I'm going to hand the screen over to Maureen, and we're going to go through a beautiful short meditation with her.
Yes. And by the way, this is a little different that you can drive. It doesn't matter what you're doing at the conscious level because this goes beyond the conscious, beyond the body. So it's not your traditional type of meditation. It's actually, it appears as meditation, but what it is a shifting and a clearing and upgrade that is effortless. So just allow yourself to notice that you're breathing. Just being present with your breath. And remembering that is the breath of life. It's the breath of source, whatever name you want to put on that higher consciousness, that we are breathing our portion of that into our communication device. And just saying yes and thank you to that awareness of who we truly are as spiritual beings, having a physical experience, really claiming that. And simultaneously inviting whatever you believe is there that supports you spiritually. If you believe in any angels or guides or spirit helpers of any kind, just like in this realm, we have friends and people that we can be supported by. Yes, and thank you. And then being aware of your body. This is not an out-of-body experience. This is getting back into your body safely and comfortably. So let's just switch on all the programs, all the pathways that have been conditioned to be contracted through pain and trauma. That's no longer, as Debbie says, not happening anymore. It's a memory. However, that memory in the field still impacts us and disturbs us unnecessarily. So let's just switch on your beautiful supercomputer here. And the operative words, just play along. Switch on, body. So I'm going to count to 3 and have us all say that together. 1, 2, 3. Switch on, body. So you plugged into your greater source, you've switched on your machine, your communication device, and now you're at the command center. So let's just say, in the interest of the collective and the time, let's just allow all unresolved issues that are no longer relevant to this time and place, no longer necessary to drag forward and interfere with us in any way, shape, or form, to be resolved and shifted here right now, in that place where there is no time, by the part of us that already knows who we are and what is unnecessary, to allow that greater field of consciousness to be shifted in that automatic zone that is like cyberspace. And so now allowing then all levels of memory to be addressed, all aspects of who you are and how you may have been unnecessarily interfering with your physical experience, your emotional, mental, not feeling as connected spiritually, financially can be a big deal, and relationships of every kind, most particularly this one of you and your higher self and source itself. And so now, are you also allowing all of your multidimensional selves to come into a new level of coherent alignment with the next level of expression of freedom, just to be comfortable in your own skin and to be more of who you truly are, free of what no longer is necessary? Yes. And taking a moment to feel your creations, your greatest self embodied. What are your superpowers? What are the gifts and the qualities of spirit? What are the fruits of spirit? This is who we really are. We've been misidentified with what's happened to us and forgotten who we truly are. So now, as we allow all of what's not who we truly are, that's no longer necessary for any kind of learning or experience on the journey, let's just make some agreements. So, are you choosing to allow all of this to unfold into a whole new alignment with your greatest self, right here, right now, in the safest and most appropriate ways for you and all concerned at all times? Yes is the answer. Are you choosing greater ease and gentleness in how all this unfolds as well, beyond what you could even imagine or think is even possible? This is what we're opening up to, our greater limitless potential here, our grandest selves. And are you allowing effortless grace for instant and permanent shift? Instant and permanent shift. Shall I say it again? Instant and permanent shift of what is no longer necessary or relevant. That's ready at this time. And are you allowing whatever is the leftover, whatever isn't quite ready, to trust that we are on this journey and everything is unfolding in its own time, in its own way, in the bigger picture that we don't have? And to be alert and aware of what drops in and how it just effortlessly starts to show up for you. It's amazing. And are you allowing the part of you that's saying yes to all of this to be in charge? And are you allowing the part of you that's really ready to be more and all of who you truly are, fully expressed, to also be in charge? Yes, it's time for us to really show up in the world. And as everything falls away, that is not who we are, the magnificence shines forth and our gifts automatically start activating. And so, one last agreement And that is, are you allowing the part of you that knows how, the freedom to go play in that great mystery of the field of spirit, of your consciousness, at that superconscious level, beyond your conscious mind's ability to track or need to think or do or make anything happen, and beyond your body's need to keep acting it out, because that's what's happening with our bodies, is acting out the signals of disharmony and imbalance and unresolved issues in our field. So now, as all of that is automatically given permission to shift and neutralize, release, let go, beyond your need to re-experience or relive anything, it's all just happening in the background. Everything's getting rebalanced. Homeostasis is restoring itself. Everything's getting harmonized. And automatically you realign, because the truth is the only thing that's real. Love is real. The light is real. Everything else is illusion. And so as the background clears everything that's not the truth of you, then as we say that namaste, the God in me greets the God in you and recognizes your greater self. And so now just allowing, while all this is taking place beyond your awareness, beyond your body's need to process or act anything out, you get to just go on virtual vacation somewhere or have a very quick nap. Because the truth is, with IoT, everything's already done now. We're so used to process that the invitation is always there to be still and know I am. Giving yourself that gift of presence. And while you're there, in that place of stillness, of just focusing on your breath, even breathing in and out with awareness of your heart center 360, filling yourself with thoughts of gratitude and appreciation. That's the elixir of life. And allowing yourself to notice how quickly you go into the depths of deeper, relaxed states. This is very simple, but it's very fast, very profound. And just noticing how you're feeling. It's already done. You are already there. You're already within. And in that place of superconscious where there is no time, there is no space, everything's connected. And it's all just already addressed. What a concept. Wouldn't that be amazing? Yeah, the truth, the proof is in the pudding. And you'll notice as the days go by. So right now, in this moment, having the presence of awareness to notice how you're feeling as you breathe in and out of your heart center with thoughts and feelings of appreciation and gratitude and love. Just choose the spot, or notice where your hands already are, or your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Doesn't matter. Choose a spot you can reactivate, that we're going to program in this chemistry of wholeness and this frequency of greater freedom to be more of yourself than ever before. So as you've got your spot, your G spot, your gratitude spot, your activation of your wholeness, your grand self spot. And now I invite you into 5 deeper breaths where we'll program that in for your access to use anytime, no matter what's happening within you or around you. So just breathing in your first deeper breath, touching your spot wherever it is. It's okay wherever it is. And breathing out, just letting go of your spot. Breathing in and touching. Breathing out, letting go. 3 more times. Breathing in and touching. Breathing out, letting go. time, letting go. Fifth time, breathing in and touching. And breathing out, letting go. And there we go. There we are. Here we be.
That was awesome.
How's everybody feeling? Be great to get some feedback.
I would love some. Yep. That was well needed today, I have to say. I am what a way to start off the morning. Thank you. Thank you. It's such a gentle process that you have, and I really love it. You guys, the link is right there in the chat. You can find it. Good morning to my husband. I see you. I see you. He says he's in La Habra and he's in love with me. I love you too, sweetheart. Thank you.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, and I forgot to tell Joe, and I forgot to tell all of you that a really cool aspect of IRT that's specific to the program. I know every act of wholeness and healing affects everybody around us, but this is actually designed to spontaneously and instantly affect all the people that are heart and DNA connected with you. And they actually don't have to change in response to your changes, which is always true. There's an additional factor here where intrinsically within the connection that we have as oneness, everybody that we're part of and connected with actually gets the opportunity to shift whatever they're ready for at the level that they're ready. So I love that without even knowing it. And there's all kinds of really amazing stories of that happening. And one case in point is that a woman came to me for help with some alcohol addiction. And she wasn't like full blown or anything, but she knew it wasn't healthy for her and she had other health concerns. And so she wanted to kind of free herself up from the compulsion of what she knew wasn't helpful. And so she really wanted her son to come and see me, her grown-up son, because he was full-blown alcoholic and he was in complete denial, never had done any kind of treatment or self-help at all. And it was just really difficult for her as mom. So I said, oh, well, let's just do this work with you first and see what happens. And sure enough, a few weeks later, her son called her up and said, hey, I realize I've got a problem here and I've actually signed up to go into treatment. So, I mean, that was phenomenal. And that had never happened before. So this is the kind of thing to watch out for as we're all part of each other. And then also to be really aware of all the different things, that opportunities that drop in, or your different response instead of reactivity to situations that you're normally triggered by, is gone, it's neutralized. And if you're different layers, then, oh, I thought I dealt with that. Just do your touch breath, right? So just also making sure people understand that what they have programmed in with 5 breaths, you can have access with 1, just like a computer program. You know, you download the program or upload it, whatever, and you tick off the boxes that you are personalizing, and then you save the program and you create an icon on your desktop, a shortcut. So that's what this is. So anytime you're feeling lonely,
That's adorable.
do a touch breath.
Do the touch breath. I love that. Do the touch breath. Touch breath, actually, that is what works. It's what calms anxiety. It's what brings you back into your body. The minute that you feel like, you just can't take one more second, the touch breath is definitely, I agree with that wholeheartedly. So we have one viewer who says that they've seen a lot of magic, more than they can bear, and they try to hide what they can do, that it's beyond what anyone can fully understand. It's a gift, but a concern that they can do the impossible. And to try and understand what I'm talking about, in a previous life, I wrote words to the greatest books ever written, but I wrote them in hidden form to be revealed now. Well, thank you for sharing. I hide so much in them for a certain date and time. Okay. Well, I really do appreciate you sharing. Everybody has their own purpose here, and everybody, I believe that we all have, every single human, every single being has their own ability to tap into their own source of power. That's what Maureen was just doing. So if you were in that space with her, if you were going through the breath and you were just listening, then that's what it's about. Getting back in one minute with yourself.
And thank you.
There was yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, because it is time and it is the safest place to be revealing all of who we are, what we know. And yes, that knowledge has necessarily been esoteric and held in other times and ways. But now it's really needed, and you're needed in all of your wisdom and your magic to step up and out and share what you know.
Agreed.
And the truth being is, you don't even have to speak those words that you have created and embedded in the system by showing up just as your greater self and just being happy and being in your peaceful state, being in your I am presence. That radiates the information you have is radiating out in your field. No matter where you show up or who you're with, they're getting entrained up. And if they, it's too much or it's too dissonant or they're not ready, they'll just, step away or you'll step away. And so know that you are a gift just by being who you are and what you carry incarnationally. And wow, that's so awesome to have you on this call today. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, seriously. That's the thing is that I remember feeling really alone because there's just things like once you wake up and you start realizing some of the stuff you might have had belief systems about when you were young might be a bunch of hockey puck. And you're like, that doesn't seem right. How does that even make any sense? And it didn't make sense growing up either. You just wanted to buy into it. That's what your family was teaching you. And God forbid if you're not labeled any particular religion. It's such a waste of time. So yeah, totally freaking understand what you're saying. I felt pretty alone then too. And it's really awesome that you're here and we embrace you just like you are. And here we go. Thank you. This helps very much. You are so welcome. Thank you, Maureen, for sharing your words with him. That's awesome.
Anybody else have any comments or any input?
Yeah, please let us know. And while we're waiting for those comments to come in, Maureen is going to be live on Unify and here on Spirituality Gone Wild and a few other places on YouTube, wherever it is that you're watching, on Friday morning. Let's talk a little bit about what that's going to look like on Friday morning.
Well, we also have another amazing person showing up and sharing wisdom. Michael
Interstellar.
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 Yeah, INRSTELR. Check him out.
Well, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's great. I know. I follow him on TikTok and I'm sitting there yesterday going, I know him. Well, I don't know him, but I recognize him. And it's like, oh, it's TikTok. Okay. I know who you are. It was great. And I cannot wait to see that you're going to be creating magic with him. It's going to be amazing.
Yes. And he has amazing ability to tap into what's going on energetically in our planet at this time and give us some astrological hints. And apparently in the next 15 days, this is an opportunity such as we have never had on the planet before and ever will for, a long time. So these days are very, very essential to clear, to step up, to allow your greater capacities, your gifts to shine, and your allowing of whatever is not serving you and the world around you, to just having even that intention, having that choice. And intention is not a word I use a lot because it's a future word, but it's also appropriate in certain settings, of course. But that's why the wording for IRT that I use is I am choosing freedom of, or I am choosing creation of. And so today we chose freedom of all of the unresolved issues that no longer, known and unknown, that no longer serve any useful positive purpose for us. And indeed, that continues. It's a gift that keeps on giving. But, watching this Cuppa Grata over and over, tuning in to the Unify with the collective of millions of people that Unify Command is really exceptional experience also. because we know that there were many experiences. I think it was Greg Braden that talked about this, whether he organizes those experiences where it brought tens of thousands of people together or a lot of people together, and prayed peace in the middle of war in the Middle East, prayed peace and were peace collectively for Washington, D.C. in a very violent hot summer. And the research that they were doing along with this showed a considerable decrease in the violence in D.C. and also a ceasefire that happened in the Middle East during that time. So we are powerful beyond measure, and even more powerful when we bring ourselves together. That old saying, again, quoting, where two or three are gathered in the name of consciousness, higher consciousness, spirit, God consciousness, there that amplification happens. That's a principle of resonance, right? Two similar frequencies happen and you get a standing wave.
I agree. I love that.
So
So
join
please,
us. Join us.
please
Yeah.
join us. Yeah, you'll see the link will be out today, later on today.
Great.
And so look for it everywhere, and please find it. We're coming up to the top of the hour, though, and well, the top of the hour for this show. We got started a little bit late. You know what I mean? I want to address the Facebook user is, knowledge is power. That's my worst fear of who I am and what knowledge I contain that the world can't bear it yet. Well,
That's why there's the agreement in IRT, safe and appropriate for you and all concerned at all times. So allow
safe.
that super conscious part, the part of you that knows, at the conscious level, we have such little access to the truth of who we are. 5% of our overall consciousness is 5% is conscious awareness. And of that 5%, 99.9% of that is looping up from the old programs, the old fears, the old conditioning. And we have 0.1% access to original thought beyond program. So trust your super conscious because it's infinite, and allow yourself to know when it's appropriate and when it's not. And I believe personally that it is time to share everything we know. And those that are not ready, well, they'll just drop away, right? Yeah. And those that are
Well,
ready,
we are creating the reality that we choose. That we're creating it. So
I would suggest to that person that if there's any concern or fear around, blowing everything out of the water, which is too much, then just allow whatever fear is inappropriate in that conditioning to be let go of. And that way you'll feel peaceful. You'll feel that sense of knowingness of what is appropriate in any given situation, person's group, and you'll be guided, and it will just come through you appropriately and safely. That's my recommendation.
I love that. My recommendation is to get in deep appreciation for what you have and what you know, and be in gratitude for being in that space and being able to recognize it, because a lot of people are going through this world and they don't wake up. So I'm in deep appreciation for the knowingness that I have connected power through God source energy at all times, and I can make miracles. I make miracles. That's what I do. What do? I make miracles. That's what we do. We make miracles. So go forward and be the miracle that you are today. And know that you are here by divine appointment and you chose to be here in this life, and find something to appreciate. And we will see you on Friday morning, bright and early at 7 a.m. Pacific time on here, Beautify, and all over the place. And all the groups that you're watching in will be there too. So do not fear, you will not miss it. And of course, always check out the replay. Go check Maureen out at maureenedwardson.com. It's in the link. I love you guys. And we will see you on the flip. Bye.